Well, wasn't that just a splendid way to end that one? A good hockey game, good physical hockey game, even though, let's be honest, the Caps didn't show up.
Your Locked On Capitals, your daily podcast on the Washington Capitals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Locked On Capitals. I am your host today, the voice squeaker himself, the insider of the insiders, Tyler Kuehl, along with Wixie. We got Wixie up here in the booth today. Okay, I know you don't want to get pulled up, but you like cuddling on my chest. I just wanted to show the people that you were there. Hi, everyone. Yes, we're going to talk about today. The Washington Capitals lost to the Boston Bruins on Thursday night. Even Wixie's like, this was dumb, Daddy. You're right. It was really dumb, Wixie. Because, well, they lost in a horrible, horrible way because all sorts of bad things. And let's be honest, Wixie's such a good girl. She's not like nicked out and does anything stupid right before she goes to bed. Isn't that right, baby girl? She's like, I'm just sniffing up here, Dad. I'm just checking things out. I know you can't see her right now if you're watching on the Locked On Capitals YouTube channel, of course. And if you're listening on the favorite podcatcher, that's okay too. Just know that Wixie is here. You can see her kind of her ear. Look, it's her ear. You see her little ear? Her ear's waving at you on the YouTube channel. Yeah, we're going to talk about that game last night. A big game for the Caps. It was an opportunity to really make a statement, especially after how they got handled by the Bruins in their game in Washington. And it did not go the way we all thought it was going to. It was a national game, the ESPN Plus game of the night, or I guess that's national now, whatever. The ESPN crew is there. And I know what the score shows, but let's be honest, that team laid an egg hard. Are you trying to lay down on my keyboard? What are you, a cat? You just closed my tabs. Look at you being all mischievous. You Wixie just, look at this. Oh, seriously. Look, say hi to the camera. You have to, no, if you're going to be up here, say hi to the camera. There you go. There's my baby. Say hi, Wixie. Say hi. Hi. Look at little Wixie girl. She's like, hi, I'm here. You're so cute and adorable. You want to sit back here? You want to sit down here? Let me leave. Hold on. Let me turn you side. There you go. There you go, baby girl. There's my baby. Oh, yes. And she's comfortable now. Laying on Daddy's lap. Okay. We'll also talk about the Ottawa Senators game on Saturday, too, because that game is not a shoo-in for the Capitals, guys. We're going to discuss why the fact that the Caps are going to have to really put an effort in against the Senators, even though this is a team in Ottawa that is towards the bottom of the Atlantic. But we'll get to that game later on. Also, our Kuehl Kaps, as well as take a look around the scoreboard of the NHL, as well, guys, as our weekly PHF schedule lookup, because I am kind of excited for the talking about the PHF. Of course, remember we did discuss the oh no! Well, there's a couple. Oh, that's a bummer. That's like the big weekend set coming up here. That's okay. We'll talk about that later. The PHF weekend schedule. Anywho, so let's get to the game last night in Boston. This was a game that was really, for some reason, I thought to myself, Boston, huge game on a Thursday night. Thought maybe, just maybe, that they were going to come out hard, come out fast. And what happened, kids? Nothing. Absolutely nothing from the Capitals. I don't want to use the word disappointed, but I was really disappointed how they played in this one. They had a day off after their game against the Winnipeg Jets. It wasn't like this was an instance of where they'd played on a second night of a back-to-back. They started Vitek Vanecek again, which was kind of expected. I thought Vanny played pretty good in that game against the Jets. So, you know what? Give him the start. And I don't know what it was. I know Oshie was out. He was up with upper body injury. Yeah, there was Sherry out. Dmitry Orlov was suspended. And Johnny Carlson, of course, was still under COVID protocol. But here's the problem. Johnny Carlson, as good as he is on the offensive end, is not your offense. You still had Nicklas Backstrom. You still had Alex Ovechkin. You still had Kuznetsov. And like I said, we'll get through the scoring and whatnot. And, those guys do make an impact. But when you only get 5 shots on goal in the first period, because we talked about this, Linus Ullmark was the starting goaltender for the Bruins. This was an opportunity for the Capitals to light up the Bruins because not Tuukka, not Swayman, Linus Ullmark was their starting goaltender. he has not been nearly as good as what I'm sure that Boston signed him on for, because yikes, that contract looks stupid, given the fact that Swayman was the other goaltender, and now they have to put him in the minors because of Tuukka Rask coming back here. First of all, of course, one thing for sure, this game was physical. It was certainly fun to watch. Lots of checks going around. We'll kind of we'll discuss the hits and what have you as we go along through this game. But the Caps do get out in front first, though. Just a few minutes in, Ovechkin sets up Kuznetsov, his 13th of the season. Ovechkin's 29th assist of the season, and league leading now 56th point at that point in the hockey game. It's 1-0. Good start. And then 50 seconds later, David Pasternak's like, nay, not in our town. The stupid freaking goal horn in Boston. My goodness, I hate that goal horn so much. Pasternak scores the 17th. It's 1-1 after one, even though the Caps were doubled up on shots. Okay, maybe Peter Laviolette's going to inspire these guys to come out strong in the second period. Nay, once again, they get outshot handedly once again in the second period. Pasternak scores his second of the game on the power play. Yeah, that's not something you want to have happen. But it's okay, though. The period goes along, but the Caps get a chance to come down the wing. Lars Eller is sitting there, and he gets a pass from Connor McMichael, and he's like, I'm going to have a 2-on-1 here. I'm going to shoot it because it's Linus Ullmark. Shoots it. Not a muffin. It was still a good shot, but that's what a goaltender should have. Lars Eller's 7th of the season. It's 2-2 as we go into the third period, despite the fact that at that point of the hockey game, the shots were 20-11 in favor of the Bruins. Now, we talked about how the Bruins offense is certainly a little bit more spread out now with the perfection line getting broken up. But here's the thing. You're still the Washington Capitals. The team that's only been, if we go back and look at each of the games, I believe the Caps have outshot their opponents at least 2/3 of the season so far. That's just kind of a guesstimation on my part. Nothing really set in stone with that official stat, but that just shows you how many chances the Capitals generate on a game-by-game basis, okay? So when we go into the third period, almost getting doubled up in shots, there is cause for concern. But the problem was, similar to the second period, nothing changed in the third period. Boston kept coming. But we'll get to the third period in a second. We must address the two hits that happened in the three hits, if you include the one on Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Tom Wilson's hit on Anton Bild. Listen, I get the perception of Tom Wilson. I myself have been super critical of Tom Wilson for a long time. He's the reason why George Peros and I, if we ever saw each other in an alley, we'd fight. I'd probably lose to George Peros, but we'd fight because of the fact that of all the Tom Wilson, the dirty hits that he's thrown, all the dumb plays he's made over his career. Now, we've talked about how Tom Wilson has been a changed player this year. He can play physical, but he hasn't done anything stupid yet. This one was another instance where Tom Wilson throws a clean check. Anton Bild does what no hockey player should do, and this is maybe the problem with today's game, because back in the 90s and 80s, if anyone ever tried to do this move, they'd probably get tomahawked or just straight up killed by Scott Stevens. Comes on the right wing side, decides to cut across the top of the right inside the blue line, and Tom Wilson's like, really? I'm on the ice and you're going to try this? Hits him clean, shoulder, chest. The reason why Bill that probably went out of the game, one, probably whiplash. Two, he went back on the ice hard. It's not a dirty hit. It's a good, clean hit, good, clean collision. It's just how Bill's body reacted to the hit. That's what makes it look so violent, because he snaps back. What's Tom Wilson supposed to do there? If you want to go to a no-hit league, then sure, let's do it that way. But that's a clean hit, folks. And I know a lot of Boston Bruins fans were up in arms saying, why is this guy in the league? Listen, a lot of us know, even Caps fans, you guys can agree, that is the least predatory hit Tom Wilson's ever thrown in his career, it seems like. At least one where he knocked a guy down. That's a good, clean hit. All right? Hopefully Anton Bild comes back better. Hopefully he's able to quickly recover. But that's a clean hit. And truly not too long after that, you see Charlie McAvoy straight up bowl over Trevor Van Riemsdyk, who has had himself just a miserable time as of late as well. So, and that was, that one could have been considered a high hit because the fact that he kind of drove up through the hands of Charlie McAvoy, but it was a good, clean hit if you ask me. Hit him in the chest and it kind of rode up. That's what sent Van Riemsdyk, flying backwards there in his own zone. It's a good, clean hit. This was a very physical game. It was a fun game to watch for sure. Hits were 36-27 in favor of the Capitals, in case you were curious. Of course, there was one in the second period that knocked out Brad Marchand. Garnet Hathaway comes in the corner. Hathaway kind of goes on top, over top of Marchand, puts him into the boards, only gets an interference call out of it. Marchand does not return to the game, though, which is obviously a huge loss offensively for the Bruins. And I know a lot of you Caps fans right now are probably celebrating and losing their mind saying, yeah, Brad Marchand got what he deserved or whatever. Try taking someone's phone now, buddy, when you're going off the ice like that. I know a lot of you are doing that right now, but listen, you hope that Hathaway doesn't get anything for it because, like I said, when a player gets hurt, typically you're going to see someone from the NHL, from the league say, all right, we got to take a look at this. Then if someone got hurt because of this hit, because it seemed like Marchand was going to try to come back because he skated off under his own power, he just ended up having to leave because I guarantee it had something to do with concussion protocol. So anyways, we go to the third period, and we're running high on time here. We'll get to the third period here in just a second, guys. I know, second game recap in a row, we have this problem. But guys, I got to tell you though, it's the new year, so that means the New Year's resolutions. And if yours is about getting fit or eating healthier, make sure you include Built Bar in your plans. Built Bar is the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar and maybe even better than a candy bar. Makes it easier, does Built Bar, to stick to your resolutions because it tastes so good you'll want to eat it, unlike other protein bars, which can be chalky, waxy, or taste like a chemical spill. So here's an idea for the new year. Go to all your secret treat stashes at home, in the pantry, at the office, in the car, wherever. Throw out all those sugary or calorie-filled treats and replace them with Built Bars. So when you are craving a snack or a treat, you can reach for something that's healthy and tastes incredible. Go to Built.com right now to use the promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. Once again, LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. So we go to the third period. Once again, Caps get shelled in shots. 13-5, was it? I just had it in front of me. 13-5, 13-6, 13-6 for the shots. And boy, just Vitek Vanecek, I'm sorry. I'm going to give him a Kuehl Cap later on, but like the fact that this was only a 4-3 game, given how poorly his team played, yeah, he's going to get one here because he had to make some big stops to keep this game for the longest time tied. Then there was a shot by Patrice Bergeron early on in the third period. Goes off the crossbar, and I think it was a shot that I think it was deflected by DeBrusk some way, and then it went off Kuznetsov and into the back of the net just barely. Ends up being a goal, even though it took him a minute to call the goal because the refs immediately said it was no goal right away because they thought it hit the crossbar. Because it did hit the crossbar, but then they didn't think it actually crossed the line or not. Play continues on, and that stupid siren they have in TD Garden that they straight up ripped right out of the Montreal Forum, it seems like that pretty much signified that was a goal. So DeBrusk gets credit with the goal, his 6th of the season. They had to bring the time back, of course. Official time on the goal was 9:41. We're like, okay, great. Of course, then they just blast that goal horn. I'm not going too loud with it because my wife is still sleeping while I'm recording this, so I'm not going to do that to her. But it's 3-2, and you're like, okay, well, that's the death nail because the Caps aren't generating anything offensively. Well, that first shift after the puck drops, the Alexi Protas, Nicklas Backstrom, Tom Wilson line. We talked about this in the previous game against the Jets. This was an interesting line, and I thought, man, this is a good little lineup here, good little setup that Peter Laviolette has because you get the young Protas, you get the tough Tom Wilson, and you get the playmaking of Nicklas Backstrom. And we see it kind of all three on this play here. Protas pressures down low. Brandon Carlo gets a little skittish behind his own net, gives the puck up to Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson, noted playmaker, feeds Nicklas Backstrom, noted goal scorer Nicklas Backstrom, rips it on by Linus Ullmark, glove side, short side once again. Good shot, and it's the NHL, kids. If you're an NHL goaltender, that makes it 3-3, just a whole whopping 36 seconds later. And it's 3-3, and we're feeling good now. Even though we're getting killed in shots, guys, the Caps are still in this one, tied going in towards the final minutes. And then with less than 3 minutes to play, Nick Dowd goes in the corner, hauls a man down, penalty, the arm goes up. Nick Dowd, of course, saying, oh my gosh, how could you call it this time in the game? Well, Nick, I'm going to tell you something right now. When you put a stick in the midsection of a hockey player, you upend the guy where the ref is literally like maybe 20 feet away from you. He kind of sees, looks over, and is like, yeah, that guy put his stick in his midsection, infracted with him, and took him down. Yeah, that's a penalty. Yeah, that's a penalty. Yeah, 100% Nick Dowd. And I'll be honest with you, I was ready for a lot of people to start screaming what Nick Dowd was screaming. At this point of the third period, a tie game, man. Listen, first of all, I think we all can agree that this game should not have been tied going into the waning minutes of the third period based on how the Capitals played here. But no matter what, when it affects possession, when you haul a guy down, when you're going for the puck, guess what's going to happen? A penalty typically is called. This time it is. I mean, sometimes it's not. I get it. Sometimes those calls are missed. But listen, people scream and everyone says, call the book, call the penalties that are listed in the National Hockey League rulebook. And this time, guess what? They did. And so Nick Dowd goes to the box. Power play is looking good for Boston, but the Capitals are getting a clear. Here comes his own entry, though, late in the regulation, final minute of play. Jake DeBrusk, a trailing Charlie McAvoy, come in high slot, beats Vanecek to the stick side. 6th goal of the season for Charlie Mack. And that is it for the Caps. They lose 4-3. Yeah, not a good game at all. Like, this was an abysmal game. And of course, that goal horn, they knew it was the game winner because they just put a little more. Listen, there are 3 of the most annoying sounds in the world in my entire life that I hear every single day. Okay. Any of my 7 alarms that go off in the morning, of course. Yes, I have 7 because it helps me kind of remind me which day it is. 2, or anytime someone knocks at my front door, because that means someone wants to talk to me and I don't like that. That's just my slight, introvert side of my things where I just don't want to talk to people that come to my house, my lovely house that I like to keep to myself a lot of times. And number 3, the TD Garden goal horn. It's the most annoying thing ever. And I hate when the New England Patriots try to use it when it's third down. You're not cool. You're not funny. Everyone thinks you're stupid. Okay. So yeah, that just put a little more angst, a little more salt in the wound, a little bit of soap there on that little cut of yours. Yeah, there you go. Make you feel like crap. And like I said, though, this Caps team should not have been involved in this game. It should have been 7-3 again, because the way they played, the lack of intensity I saw outside of the hits. Like I said, the hits were there. You're taking on Linus Ullmark. And I get it. The Bruins have a good defensive structure, but they don't have many great defensemen. Charlie Mack is their one good defenseman nowadays. I mean, my goodness. I get people like Matt Grizz, like people like Brandon Carlo. But my goodness, you should get more than 17 shots on goal on the Boston Bruins. And realizing that Linus Ullmark is their starting goaltender. So if you get maybe 25 shots on goal, maybe you win this game 6-3, 6-4, because my gosh, he was playing horrendous. And it's games like these that make me really say to myself, man, I don't think the Washington Capitals are that good. Because yes, I know the Bruins are surging. They're coming back into playoff contention and maybe showing the fact that they can, be a team that, tough team come playoff time. But now the Caps have lost 10 games this season. And I know, we go into this, we discuss this, but we have to remember the fact that with Pittsburgh guys winning and the fact they have 2 games in hand, all of a sudden the Capitals are 4th in the Metro. They are all of a sudden the team in the wild card spot. Yes, that's right. You heard me say that right, kids. The Pittsburgh Penguins are ahead of the Washington Capitals because of the fact that the Capitals have only won 2 of their last 8 games. I know a couple of those have gone to overtime, so points are involved for those games for the Caps. But there's your problem right there. This team has found ways to lose games that they shouldn't, whether it be New Jersey, whether it be Boston, both times against Boston. I mean, you're dropping games to teams that are beatable. Beatable guys, beatable teams. I mean, the Canucks, of course, the second half of back-to-back. Oh, but the Caps were on 1-2. So were the Canucks. They had just had to play. They were getting their teeth kicked in on this East Coast trip. They were primed for the taking, and you drop one to them. You lose to the Wild in a shootout. You got hammered by the Blues. This team has consistently found ways as of late to show that they are not a great team. Now, we always try to look at the positive side here. This is a team with a lot of vets that know how to win, especially in the regular season, and know how to right the course here. They need to step up here. I know, listen, Ovechkin has played well. He scored a goal and an assist in the win against Winnipeg, picks up an assist tonight. Backstrom with his first goal. And people can make all the excuses they want. They don't have a full lineup. They're missing John Carlson, and that does hurt. But guess what, kids? Do we want to go back to you want to go look at the defense core of the 2017 Pittsburgh Penguins? when Ron Hainsey was their first pairing left defenseman and Chris Letang was banged up for half of it. Kick rocks, guys. Great teams find ways to win when the cards are stacked against them. And let's be honest, the way the Caps are playing right now, they're not a great team. They're a good team. They have talent. But when you're losing and you're getting doubled up in shots by a Boston Bruins team that's starting let's be honest, their third best goaltender in their organization, and they only have to play him because Allmark's got the bigger contract, and Jeremy Swayman is still waivers exempt, so he can go play in Providence with no problems with the Bruins team. They don't have to have any, they don't have to put him on waivers. They don't have to worry about any of that stuff. This is a Caps team that's struggling right now, and they got to figure it out here. And unfortunately, no break until the end of February. We talk about that week-long break, but this team needs to find a way to win and find a way to win fast, or else guess what, kids? The Edmonton Oilers are looking great right now. We'll talk about them in a second, but yeah, there's a chance of a playoff spot not being in the Caps' favor right now, not in their hands, because it's slipping, and it's slipping quick. We'll get to those scores that happened last night. We'll also look at the game against the Ottawa Senators and give our Kuehl Kaps of the night here in just a moment, guys. But BetOnline would like to wish you a happy new betting year as we continue our march to the playoffs and beyond. BetOnline remains the number one spot for all of the best sports wagering action for 2022. New year and new updated desktop and mobile website to sign up today and use 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit by using the promo code LOCKEDON to get started. From football, basketball, hockey, boxing, UFC, rate your favorite Vegas casino games. Do not wait. Take advantage of all the amazing offers available for 2022. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all of your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. Quick look at the scoreboard around before we look at the game against the Ottawa Senators from Thursday. Of course, Bruins beat the Capitals. That was technically the first game of the day. The Dallas Stars pulling out one against the Buffalo Sabres. That was a wild game in upstate New York. 5-4 win for the Stars. Jackets beat the Flyers 2-1, hanging on there. Back to 500 they are. Pittsburgh Penguins only winning 6-4 over the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa was trailing 5-1 as they went into the third period, and the Sens came roaring back. And like I said, that's why we're going to talk about them. This is a pesky Sens team all over again. Predators handled the Jets 5-2 in Smashville. The Florida Panthers beat up the Edmonton Oilers 6-0. 4 goals given up in the third period by Edmonton. Listen, at the time we're recording this, everyone still has a job in Edmonton, but there's going to be a lot of questions too. And the crazy part is it's not like Florida outplayed them either. I think the shots were 14-2 Edmonton in the first period at one point. They outshot them, I think, 40-28 by the end of the game. The Oilers suck. I think we can all agree on that. The Oilers suck. That's the reason why they're 7th in the Pacific Division. Colorado knocks off the LA Kings in Hollywood last night. Close game between Vegas and Montreal. The Canadians, Sam Montembeault, 49 saves. Unfortunately, the Golden Knights pull it out 4-3 in overtime. The Seattle Kraken squeak out a win. They take on the San Jose Sharks, 3-2 winners in Seattle, Climate Pledge Arena. Games on Friday night. The New York Rangers taking on the Carolina Hurricanes in Raleigh. The Blue Jackets, second half of back-to-back, as well as for the Penguins. Penguins look to get some distance, dare I say, on the Capitals. That game is in Columbus. The Detroit Red Wings hosting the Dallas Stars in Motown. Islanders hosting the Coyotes. Blackhawks take on the Wild in Chicago. Good little game there for Minnesota to get back on the winning track here. Canucks hosting the Panthers, second half of back-to-back. I'm not saying the Panthers are prime for the taking, but good chance for the Canucks to make a statement here. Anaheim hosting the Tampa Bay Lightning in Duckland at the Pond. And the Kraken take on the Seattle Blues. The Kraken take on the Seattle Blues. No, the St. Louis Blues. That is the nightcap, the 10:30 game. And quick update on the PHF weekend schedule. The Toronto Six and Connecticut Whale. That was going to be a big matchup this weekend between two of the best teams in the PHF. Unfortunately, due to COVID protocol issues, those two games will not happen. They'll be postponed and played at a later date. So the games that we do have, though, on Saturday, a pair of 7 o'clock games. The Boston Pride taking on the Metropolitan Riveters. First game for the Pride in 2022. The Minnesota Whitecaps also take to the ice against the Buffalo Buttes for the first time this year. Both one-win teams looking for their second loss of the seasons. And then at 1 o'clock, those two series will be played once again. Boston, they're playing at home against the Riveters. Buffalo at Northtown Center hosting the Whitecaps on Sunday. So right before you get all your football action, catch out some PHF action on ESPN+. Now, the matchup against the Ottawa Senators here, and I know the record's bad for the Ottawa Senators. Sure, Did they have COVID issues? Absolutely. Have they had goaltending problems? Sure. Has the team not been able to score? Yeah, that's right. However, listen, look at their last couple games. They beat the Edmonton Oilers. 5 goals in the third period. Okay. 6-4, they win on Saturday night. Yeah, they have a little lackluster performance hosting the Buffalo Sabres this past Tuesday, 3-1 loss there. But then they really made it interesting against Pittsburgh on Thursday. I'm sorry, guys. This is an Ottawa Senators team that I'm looking at this game and I'm like, this is not a confirmed 2 points here for the Capitals. Just look at the way they played. And I've really liked the way the Sens have battled. Like this is a DJ Smith-esque team, and I think I'm gonna give them this year. Like this year, there was supposed to be improvement with the Senators, and it's really hard. And I really think that COVID break, that COVID pause they had to take earlier back in November, I really think that did a number on them. But I'm gonna give him one more year with DJ Smith here because I think he, for some reason, has this team playing a tough way. Like it out of all this. Of all the issues we see, like the Edmonton Oilers, like, is there a problem with Tippett and McDavid or whatever? We're talking about this with good teams. Is there issues with, with Sheldon Keefe calling the Leafs soft or whatnot? Are there problems there? Well, in Ottawa, despite the fact that they're, one of the worst teams in the league, they're 11-20-2 this year. Their .364 points percentage, I believe, is 5th worst in the league. 5th worst. 5th worst. Right now, because Montreal is at 282, 1, 2, 3, 4th worst, in the league right now. Even the New York Islanders, who are 13-13-6, who are last in the Metropolitan Division, have a 500 record. But then again, it's because they've only played 32 games of the Islanders. But this team they have talent. Drake Batherson, I think, is having a great year. He's certainly been their MVP, and of course, Josh Norris has been stepping up. He scored a goal against the Penguins on Thursday. Of course, you have Hot Sam Batcho, Thomas Chabot, you have Connor Brown, you have Brady Tkachuk stepping in, Tim Stützle. Yeah, I think he's starting to catch things up after a slow start. This is going to be not an easy game, and I think the thing about the Senators is they play physical. They try to play a little nasty. They try to get under your skin because, first of all, that was DJ Smith. Secondly, they have Tkachuk. They have a Tkachuk in their lineup. That just should tell you all you need to know right there. This is not going to be a cakewalk. The Caps need to find a way to battle. They need to find a way to. This may be a 2-goal game, like 2 goals scored entirely. Like I would not be shocked if the winner of this one wins 2-1. This is how it's going to be a tight game because the Sens try to play a defensive style, DJ Smith style, physical, hard. Limit the amount of scoring chances. And you know what? I think the Caps need to try to exploit that because here's the thing. When you only get 17 shots on goal against the Boston Bruins, you need to figure something out. And you're going up against Senators team that, yes, on paper is well beneath you. You are much better than the Ottawa Senators. Play like it. Show it. Prove it. Because right now, the Capitals are looking no better than the Philadelphia Flyers. Giving up games that they shouldn't. And yeah, the Flyers are horrendous, but boy, the Caps don't look like they're playing much better right now. Caps teams to figure it out. That is a 7:30 puck drop. 7 o'clock puck drop at Capital One Arena on Saturday night. And then, of course, we'll be back on Monday edition to talk about that game as well as preview the Caps matchup against the Vegas Golden Knights. Tough week coming up here for the Caps as well. They take on the pesky Sharks as well as the Dallas Stars, who are up and down, but they certainly have talent. Tyler Seguin starting to heat up down there in the Big D. So quick Kuehl Kaps of the night. I'm going to give my one to Vitek Vanecek and Nicklas Backstrom. Vitek Vanecek making 29 saves, really helping his team out despite them getting shelled for most of the game. And Nicklas Backstrom, his first goal of the season at that point, the tying goal of the hockey game. Solid goal for him. But that is it for this edition of Locked On Capitals for everyone and this week's editions of Locked On Capitals. Thank you all very much for watching on the Locked On Capitals YouTube channel and wherever you listen on your favorite podcatchers. We'll be back on Monday. Check us out at the Twitters at Locked On Caps. Follow me, the Insider of the Insiders, Tyler Kuehl, at TJKU29, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And Wixie is also going to come back up here. Come here, baby. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at her. She's going to make Daddy feel so much better and say, bye, everybody. Everyone have a good day. Everyone enjoy the weekend because Daddy's going to be with me all weekend because Mommy works all weekend. So it's going to be Daddy and I every single day. Every single day. Do. Boom, boom. Oh, thank you for snuggling into my face. Oh, you were just, look at this. Look at this beautiful puppy. Everyone on the podcast right now, just finish the episode, Tyler. I'm like, I'm sorry. If you had a dog that looked like this. All right, she wants to get off now. She had too much screen time. We'll see you Monday, guys. Thank you all very much. See you again.